Guys, you're welcome back to my channel. This is Balmage Fit. I hope you have watched the first part of this tutorial, which is the pattern drafting of making this beautiful dress, because this is the continuation of it, and this is the cutting and stitching of my main fabric into a 12 pieces dress. But if you haven't seen the video yet, then I'll drop the link in my description box so it will be easy for you to access, watch and learn. On this video, I'll be taking you through the process of mixing together these two beautiful African prints to make that lovely 12 pieces dress you just saw. So please don't just watch and leave. Subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of these, then click on the notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I drop another interesting and detailed tutorial video. Without wasting much time, let's get into the cutting. So I'll start with this very beautiful floral African print, and I'll start first with cutting my front pattern. This is my center front, and I'll be including my seam allowances on my main fabric. So please take note of this point I'm touching, that's my waistline. So I'll include my seam allowance of half of an inch. On getting to my under bust, I'll make a mark there because I'll notch that part after cutting. Then continue the line to my waistline. On my hemline, I'm adding about 2 inches to my full dress length because my pattern paper wasn't up to the length I wanted. So on this point, I'll mark out 6 inches. I'll come out by 6 inches. So just follow closely, and I'll roll the line from that point to where I mark out my 6 inches. Then I'll draw a straight line to my waistline from the half inch on my waistline down to the 6 inches on the hemline. So you can see this is actually very easy. You can do the same thing when cutting out your 6 pieces skirt or even your 6 pieces blouse. So guys, I'm cutting out my center front, and don't forget my fabric is on fold. If you follow same step after cutting out, please don't forget to notch your under bust and your waistline, because that is where we're going to be placing our fabrics together to stitch together. So this is me notching my under bust because it's going to serve as a guide when stitching my side front to my center front, since it doesn't have a detached half length. Now I have my center front cut out piece. The next thing I'm going to do is to cut out my side front one. So for my side front one, just like the center front, I'll indicate my waistline and then add about half of an inch for my seam allowance from my bust down to my waistline. I would not need to indicate my under bust because it's very obvious, so I would roll the line straight down to my waistline. For my hemline, I would come out by 6 inches on both sides, unlike the center front, which was done only on the dart line. So this is the 6 inches measuring out from the other sides of my center front one. Now that I have this marked out, I'll just go ahead to cut this piece out. So I have my first side front cutout piece, and you can see how nice it's looking. You can see how the shape came out even before sewing. I'm going to take this away, then cut the next one. On this one, I'm doing same thing I did for the side front one, but with a slight difference on my side seam allowance, which I'll be including my 1.5 inches for my side seam sewing allowance. Then from there, I'm going to come out by same 6 inches, just like I did for the first one. And yes, this is how it looks like. For my center back, I'll also be including half an inch seam allowance on the both sides, so I'm indicating my waistline here so that I can notch that part also. Then here, marking out my half an inch seam allowance to stop on my waistline. So guys, if you remember on my pattern drafting, I indicated my back half length, so that will not go unnoticed on my fabric cutting. So from that back half length is what I'm going to draw out to the hemline, my 6 inches. Then the next thing to do is to cut out this piece. So there's one thing I like doing on my clothes is adding 1 inch to my back shoulder. This will help my dress shoulder from not dragging to the back after fixing the front and the back shoulders together. And mind you, I didn't include any seam allowance on my front shoulder. So here the back shoulder will come to the front instead of the front going to the back. For my side back one, I would repeat same procedure I took for my side front one because they both seem alike. Then the last one is my side back two, which will be same step with my side front two. I would rule out my lines and cut this last piece out. Putting these both pieces together, this is how they would look like after stitching them. So I'll take this away and go to the next step. So these are all my cut out pieces. I've cut out my linings just exactly as I cut out my main fabric. And on this step, I'll be showing you how I cut my interface, which is my light breast pad. So it has one shiny side that you fuse to your fabric with the use of your pressing iron. So this is what I'm going to be using to make my breast pad. Before I do that, you can see I have stitched these two pieces together, which is the side front one and side front two. And I have also gone ahead to press open my seam line. Then the next thing is to fold into my breast pad and cut it to the length of my waistline. I'll cut it exactly to shape as I have with my fabric. So you can decide to cut it just this way, or you can decide to cut it in the shape of a breast cup, just like I have done it here. But for me, I decided to cut it the other way around just to give that part some fullness. So I'm going to do the same thing for my center front, still to my waistline. Okay, the next thing to do now is to hold my zipper allowance, that is my front zipper allowance. Please make sure to stitch with the exact allowance given so you don't tamper with your dart measurement. So I'm going to take my side front and place it right from my under bust, then stitch it down. So these are my back pieces, the center back and the side back. I'm going to stitch from my waistline straight down, but first before I do that, I will notch my waistline so I don't make any mistake, because I'm going to be stitching from this waistline down to the hemline. To do that, I'll place these two pieces together, right sides facing each other, and I'll make sure it's on the mark of my waistline, then stitch it straight down with half of an inch to the hemline. After doing that, I'll flip it to the other side and stitch it upwards, adjusting it like so to finish it up. Then for my center back, I'll stitch it with half of an inch all the way to the hemline. So here I would advise you stitch together the two side backs first before stitching them to the center back. So here I have my center front pieces stitched together. So you can see how it looks like. It came out beautiful, and you can see how the bust area cupped out really nice. So this is how it looks like on the inside. After stitching together, I made sure to notch the under bust and press open my seam lines so that it will come out really neat and nice. So I did just the same thing for my lining, and you can see how the lining came out neat too. So the next thing I'm going to do is to fix my zipper, then turn my neckline and my side seam with my lining. But not to worry, I'm going to bring this back to show you how to do it. Here I have my back pieces all stitched together, and I did just the same thing for my lining. I made sure to press open my seam lines to keep it really flat. So I'll be doing the same thing by turning my neckline and my side seam, just like I'll do for the front piece. So here is my front piece, and I have fixed my zipper on my main fabric. The next thing I'll be doing is to turn with my lining, and this is just how I'm going to do this. See how I fixed my zipper with the stopper about half of an inch before my neckline, because I'm going to be turning that part with my lining. So I'll place my lining on like this and stitch with half of an inch on my neckline, then exactly on my zipper crease line. After doing that, I'm going to stitch the hemline so that I can turn this to the right side. Then also close up my side seam but leave open where I'll fix my inner pocket. Okay guys, I'm back with it. I have done all that part. I fixed my zip, closed my zipper, and also my hemline. and that is the space I left where I'll be stitching my inner pocket too. So the next thing before I do that is to stitch my front and back shoulders together, and after I do that I'll stitch together the side seam to my body shape, but I'll leave open where I'll be fixing my pocket, then complete my stitching to the hemline. Okay guys, let's cut the side pockets together. This is one very easy way to cut your side pocket. Just place your hand like so on a piece of fabric, the one that is enough to cover up your palm, but you can even make it longer. Then use your chalk to mark it out with a curved line, just the way you see me doing it. After doing this, you're going to have it like a C shape. So you can go ahead to cut this piece out. Remember, it will be one for the front and one for the back. On this spot, I'll measure out 7 inches because the space length I left for my side pocket on my main fabric is 7 inches. So I'll just open this up, then go ahead to fix it to my dress. Okay guys, I have crossed all those steps and you can see that I have fixed also my side pocket. So you can see how it's looking right now. I have fixed my inner pocket and you can see how beautiful it's looking, like as if there's nothing there. So this is how it looks like inside. So here I felt like adding this little patch for added beauty, so I'm going to be stoning that part. Now this is my puff sleeve. I've already gone ahead to stitch it and I've also inserted my elastic band to the hemline. But don't worry, I have a video on how to cut this very puff sleeve. I'll upload it so that you can watch and learn too. So on this point, I'll be stitching it this way. I'll be pleating it like so on my dress. So what I'm going to do is first stitch it on the bust area to hold it together. Then getting to the shoulder, I'll start to pleat it till I complete it round the shoulder. I'll take this away to finish up and the next thing you see is me putting it on. So thank you for watching. I hope you have learned how to make your own 12 pieces dress. You can see it's very easy to make and it came out really nice and I really loved it. So please do not forget to subscribe, do not forget to like and comment, drop your questions if you have any, and also please do not forget to share this video so other people can get to see this and learn too. And if you want to see more of how to make beautiful dresses like this, please do not forget to click on the notification bell. Just hit that bell, then you'll be notified whenever I drop another beautiful and interesting video. I hope to see you in my next video, and from here it is see you soon. Bye.